daily routine, la rutina diaria. We all have one. And in Spanish, we typically use reflexive verbs to describe the things that we do to ourselves in the morning to get ready. And that's why in this case, they're reflexive, because they're actions that we are doing to ourselves to get ready and start the day off right. So a lot of these verbs, they all end in se when you see them untouched, not in a sentence, or not conjugated. And a few of them are, before we get into how they work, a few of them are despertarse, to wake up. Despertarse. Another one is, because we all know that the difference between to wake up and to get up are vastly different. There are two verbs. So despertarse is to wake up, while levantarse is to get up. And if you are a student in a Spanish class, you'll hear levántense, for example, like oh, levántate, get up. So it's to get up, whether it's out of bed, out of a chair, physically get up. Two different concepts. And then ducharse is to shower, ducharse, or you can say bañarse, to bathe. Ducharse, bañarse. Si te duchas o te bañas, te vas a secar. If you're going to bathe or shower, you're going to want to dry, such as the hair, okay? And actually, before you get to that, lavarse, to wash. So lavarse las manos, la cara, o el pelo. And whenever we use reflexive verbs with body parts, we don't say the possessive adjective. You say the article, el, la, los, or las. So el pelo, la cara, las manos. And then secarse is to dry. So secarse, it comes from the adjective seco, dry. Secarse. And then let me think. Another one is cepillarse. Okay, to brush, whether it's el pelo, cepillarse, or los dientes, teeth. And then one of the other things that some of us may do is maquillarse. Maquillarse is to put on makeup. A few others in the morning that we may, some verbs that may actually be part of our morning routine is afeitarse, to shave, afeitarse, and finally vestirse, to get dressed, vestirse. And that is the daily routine in the morning. Now, and of course, there could be other verbs, but those are the most basic and most commonly used. Now, how do we conjugate reflexive verbs? Okay, so if a verb ends in AR, and most of the verbs I just mentioned do, you take AR endings, o, as, a, amos, ais, an, in the present tense. And if it's ER, IR, like vestir, it's ER, IR endings. Vestirse would be o, es, imos, is, en. Now we'll get to some of the irregulars like the stem changers, such as despertarse and vestirse in another video. But let's go over some of the basic ones, such as bañarse, bañarse, to bathe. Now the se changes. It's what we call a reflexive pronoun. And reflexive pronouns go before the conjugated verb. And if there are two verbs, a conjugate verb and infinitive, it can either go before the conjugate verb or at the end of the infinitive. So let's look at what those pronouns are. So in the yo, it's me. In the tu form, it's te. In the él, ella, or usted, it's se. In nosotros, it's nos. For vosotros, it's os, not vos. Vos is something completely different. And for ellos, ellas, y ustedes, it's se. So you put that before the conjugated verb if you only have one verb. So let's try conjugating bañarse. Yo, repeat after me. And the yo, the subject pronouns yo, tú, él, ella, those are optional, but for the sake of practicing, we're going to use them. So repite. Yo me baño. Tú te bañas. Él se baña. Nosotros nos bañamos. Vosotros os bañáis. Ellos se bañan. And that's how you conjugate reflexive verbs. Now, that's how you conjugate if you have one verb. So if you have to say something such as, let's use the near future. If you want to say, I'm going to bathe, you could say, yo me voy a bañar. So you're still putting the me in front of the conjugated verb, which is voy, ir. Yo me voy a bañar. Repite. Yo me voy a bañar. Yo me voy a bañar. And if you want to put the pronoun at the end of the infinitive, instead of bañarse, it's going to still be bañarme because the subject pronoun is yo, and they go together. So it would be, instead of yo me voy a bañar, it would be yo voy a bañarme. Yo voy a bañarme. Yo voy a bañarme. Repite, yo voy a bañarme. And that's how you conjugate regular reflexive verbs for your morning routine. ¿Cuál es tu rutina diaria por la mañana? What is your daily routine in the morning? And we typically say, you can say en la mañana, you can say por la mañana. So por la mañana, ¿cuál es tu rutina diaria? Mi rutina diaria por la mañana típicamente es me despierto. We'll talk about that verb later in another video, but it's a stem changer, I to IE. Me despierto, me ducho, me lavo el pelo, la mano, la cara, todo. Y no me seco el pelo. Y me maquillo y me visto. So those are a couple examples. ¿Cuál es o qué haces como parte de tu rutina diaria? ¿Cuál es tu rutina diaria? Put it in the comments below. One or two things that you like to do in the morning to get ready. And if you haven't subscribed to makingspanishsimple.com, subscribe today for more content, whether it's videos on the Spanish language and culture, or what to watch, read, or teaching and teaching resources, not just for teachers, but for students to practice at makingspanishsimple.com. And remember, ¿cuál es tu rutina diaria? Put it in the comments below.